Happy Easter, Rhonda. Good morning, Janine. Well, it's always good going into a weekend. It was raining a little bit this morning. We didn't get a lot of rain, but there were supposed to be like three fronts that came through between yesterday afternoon and this morning. And only one of them produced something, and it wasn't much. So kind of clearing up outside. Supposed to be in the upper 70s, low 80s today. But that's the cool thing about Texas. You get bored of one kind of weather, it starts to change. Yeah, it's a little late for that, isn't it? I put the water in the freezer for about 30 minutes before I start a live stream. And for the first few minutes, it takes a while for there to be any water there. Yeah, it was kind of moderate here in Texas this winter. We're kind of in a wet spell right now, though. I guess this is kind of the monsoon season, I guess, in Texas where we can get some good weather. Yeah, I missed a day of work this week, and I'm still kind of in the hacking up phlegm phase, so you have to bear with me today. First time I missed work in like 4 years. Yeah, I know. Took my boss by surprise. He was actually concerned because I got up at 4:30 in the morning and realized right off the bat I wasn't going to go to work, and you know, but he was so concerned because I don't ever do that, but he wasn't there to kind of take the text. And so when he got done with the meetings, he called me at home and because he said he was doing a wellness check because it's so weird that I do that. I made it back the next day, and I'm just kind of in the trailing phases of it right now. Well, it's funny when I went to bed on Tuesday night, I didn't even for a second entertain the idea that I wasn't going to go to work the next day. I noticed that I had a little like congestion in my nose for a couple of days, but that was it. Yeah, I've been getting a lot of overtime too. I mean, that's just the nature of the job now. It's not set hours where you come in at a certain time and go home at a certain time. I do come in at a certain time. I come in earlier than uh, any of the employees, but um, I don't get to go home until the work's done. And if that means I'm there till midnight, I'm there till midnight. Usually isn't that bad, but it isn't unheard of for me to be there 10:30. Whenever everyone else went home at 7:30. Well, paid sick days are I don't know. It's based on hours, and since I work 12-hour days, I don't know how it all breaks down, but I've never used them. Well, what I end up doing is when the company shuts down for like maintenance intervals, I'll take sick time to cover for that because I usually don't use my sick time, and if I don't use it, I lose it. Vacation time, on the other hand, if I got it at the end of the year, I get paid back for it. Ugh, nose right now. Yeah, there is no open or close at my place. It's just one long, everlasting day. No, I don't usually take anything. Let my body deal with it. I don't know what it is. I've been congested and difficulty breathing and stuff like that. Happy Easter, Sharon. Glad you came back. Hopefully become one of our new regulars. Hi, Logan. How are you? Happy Easter, Logan. Well, that's good. That's a very handy skill to be able to text. So it's good that your mommy's encouraging that. Oh, I loved Lego. Lego was one of my favorite toys. Did you see the Lego show I did a couple weeks ago? That was kind of fun. Good morning, Ruth. Happy Easter. NASCAR Lego, of course. I mean, you knew it was going to either be that or Barbie Lego. Do they have Barbie Lego? I don't know. Wouldn't surprise me. If they did, though, I bet you Rhonda would know. As a matter of fact, I do have some new rocks. Got just some little stuff, but uh, couple I thought cool things. I've got a couple pieces of labradorite. I was showing you that it's kind of a rock that has a pretty sheen to it. You change the angle, look at it, and it kind of glows and it reflects light. But everything I have is really polished. And Kara found this raw piece of labradorite that I thought was just gorgeous. And when I saw that, it's like, oh man, I got to have that. So I did. Let's see, get this to glow. Yeah, see how it kind of glows there? Like I said, I got a couple pieces of this that are really polished and they look really nice, but I don't have one that's raw like that. So that was really cool. And this doesn't seem like much. It's a little teeny tiny little crystal. But what I really like is what it does under a black light. And you can see it a little bit. This one's a little bit easier to see because sometimes the black light tends to wash out the camera a little bit. And let's see if we can. Yeah, I almost got to shine it on the camera a little bit so it washes out a little bit. See, but there's these little teeny tiny crystals in there, and the little teeny tiny crystals glow when you hit them with a black light, and that was really cool. So I got that, and I got another piece of fluorite. Fluorite does really cool things under a black light. Not usually into the shaped stuff, but some of the grain on this was just absolutely beautiful, and I couldn't pass that up. I mean, look at that. Different sides. That side's just stunning. So I had to get that. And I've been getting a lot of tourmaline lately, and this was kind of a cool piece of quartz with tourmaline in it, and so had to get that. That was kind of cool. That was really pretty. Kind of a green tourmaline too. A lot of times tourmaline, you can almost see it is kind of green there. A lot of time it's like black, and so that was kind of cool. And it kind of cool came with this cool little stand too. So I thought that was fun. And then just a little piece of amethyst with another crystal growing in it, and the other crystal kind of glows a little bit too. Not really like strongly like some things do, but it's more kind of opaque on this, but it's almost white and translucent on that. So I thought that those are pretty cool. Tourmaline is just it's a mineral. It grows kind of in a crystalline structure. Here, I'll go show you a couple other pieces of tourmaline. I'm getting to the point where I have like multiple copies of things. Sorry, I had to put it all together here. I kind of get to the point that when I have multiple copies of certain things, I kind of try and display them all together. So this is just a rough piece of tourmaline, but you can see this one's kind of the black nature. But even on some angles, you can see kind of it's almost a hint of green in there. So I would guess you almost say it's like almost a really, really dark green. And then here's some really black tourmaline. It looks really cool in the side of these crystals here. When I got this one from Kara, I told her I don't even know which side's the best because there's that little hole here in the side here too. It's got all this amazing stuff going on in there. So yeah, that's that black stuff. That's what that is. That's tourmaline. But it isn't always just black. I told you there's green. This is called something called watermelon tourmaline, and it's a very light green color. But usually when you look in the center, it's red. That's why they call it watermelon tourmaline. It's green on the outside and red on the end. And then this is some just green tourmaline. You can see there's a little bit of black tourmaline in there too, but that's primarily green. So yeah, like I said, there's certain things if I like it, I'll get maybe more than one thing, but I get everything. Oh, that's the problem. I'm trying to figure out why I couldn't pull the computer towards me here. Got the cord underneath the TV tray. Oh, come on. Leave me alone, YouTube. The purple, this one? Or this amethyst? That one. Which one looks like a throw up? Yeah, amethysts are nice. I have a bunch of amethysts. In fact, I have a piece of amethyst that I was given from a person at work. She knows I'm kind of into rocks, and she's kind of an eccentric personality, and so she like gets into little buying moods. And unfortunately for her, her and her husband both make pretty good money, so they've got, I guess, a very, she's a shopaholic, and I guess at one point she was in a purple mood and found this gorgeous amethyst cluster. And she had it for a while, and then eventually she fills up her house so much she's got to get rid of some stuff. And I think that was part of the downsides. And she gave me that, and that was a beautiful piece. Well, I'm a long way from that, Ruth, but I am already kind of thinking about where we go next, because the one on the floor behind me there, that one's getting to the point where it's pretty packed. Now I've got that uranium glass in there, and I'm thinking I can move the uranium glass out of there, and that'll buy me some more room. And I still technically have two rows on the desk over there because I only got stuff really on the top two shelves. I got other stuff on the bottom too, so I could easily move some stuff over there. I got a lot of room. I could even technically go up on top there where the lava lights are and put stuff up there. I got a couple of big things up there, but I got plenty of room to grow. I'm kind of thinking at some point, if I lose bite, which will happen at some point. I mean, it's inevitable. That room might turn into my rock display case. I mean, it's already got the shelves in there, right? I thought about getting a rock polisher at one point. Like I said, I like rocks in the more natural state. So, good morning, Darth. All right, here we go. Now it's a party. What you mean on top here where all the pictures are? Probably not. But if I were to do something like, I could literally build out the whole cat room and turn that into a rock place. Nice. I've got some what we call the lucky scoops over at Gallery 11. I've collected, and some of the pieces I've gotten are pretty nice. Could probably be made into some pretty cool jewelry. Yes, I do have new rocks, Darth. Um, just showed them a minute ago, so this will be a repeat for some of you. But I like this piece. This is called Labradorite, and I've got several pieces of Labradorite, but it's all polished, smooth, and well, it's very beautiful. I really like them, like my stones, like more raw. And I love how these just glow under natural light. You get the angle just right. And that's the first piece I've ever seen of this stuff in the raw form. Like I said, I got a bunch of pieces that are like polished, but look at that. That's gorgeous, huh? And I got another piece of fluorite. That's that stuff that glows under the black light. Uh, and I wasn't even really seriously looking at that, and then I looked at the pattern. And it's like, the stonework in there. Look at the lattice work in that. See if you can get the light just right. Yeah, look at that. That's gorgeous. So I had to get that. That's a good one. I got this little piece here. This was just like a little $14 piece. But what I liked about it is what it did under the black light. Let's see if we can get it to look good here. It's almost like there's little glowy crystals inside that light up. I thought that was really kind of cool. So like I said, that's a $14 piece, but it's still pretty. It's still pretty. And let's see, I didn't show that one yet. That's an amethyst, but it has a piece of like calcite in it, and the calcite does something cool under a black light. It's got kind of almost an opaque look under normal light, but it turns really milky and translucent, if you will, when you hit it with the black. So that was kind of cool. And then I got this piece of tourmaline. Well, the big white cluster is just a quartz cluster, but it's got this cool piece of tourmaline inside of it there. And I thought that was kind of cool. Kind of a dark tourmaline, but not entirely dark. This one's got a little green tint to it. You can almost see in some of the light there. It looks a little bit green. So yeah, I don't know. That was cool. Came with a cool stand too, so we kept that. I mean, the largest rock I ever got from them is that piece of amethyst up there on the shelf here. I always have problems with the angles here. That piece right there. And that one's probably, I don't know, 16 inches tall. So that's a pretty decent size. And then there's a couple of big quartz clusters in that shelf there that are decent size too. Some of them are like the size of a basketball. Looks like a weeble. Yeah, I guess. Thanks for stopping in, Ruth. Good seeing you. Oh, Bite was out here a little bit. He's retreated back to the room. He'll probably come back though at some point. Charlotte's being cranky, huh? Isn't it usually the other way around? I don't know. It might be dog flu. I don't know. It crept up on me. I missed a day at work this week, which I don't do that very often. She took your breakfast? All right. I don't think it's that Lindex because I'm not scratching. You said you're not allowed to eat near her. That's awesome. Saw Flash a couple days ago. I've been work the last couple days, so don't usually see Flash that much during my work week because I leave when it's still dark in the morning and it's dark when I get home. So at that point, she's usually in her box. But I saw her last week. She was fine, doing her thing, getting out now a little bit because everything's starting to get green again. It's funny. The lawn, both in the front and the backyard, just completely go brown in the winter, but it comes back every spring. Yeah, I hope those plants will last a while. Oh, the work is always busy. It's always go 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 go. And yesterday was no exception. What is it? Well, I mean that can be said about any kind of a manufacturing job. If you're not producing what people need, you're not going to be in business. But the demand for our product is pretty good. A hedgehog? Oh, that's cool. They're cute. I went when I went to that herpetology exhibit in Waco about a year and a half or two ago. There was a hedgehog. They had somebody had hedgehogs there. How big do they get? They get decent size, right? Because the one I saw, they were little. They were like smaller than my fist. Oh, I'll do that some point, Darth. I got. I want to go down to the health club too. That's cool. How big? Yeah, how big do they get though? I don't know how big they get. No, it's actually a restaurant that it's a burger place. I guess it's been selling burgers in that location for like years and years and years. Been there like since the 50s. Same size as a skinny pig, huh? Okay. I thought they got bigger than that. Maybe not. 8 inches. Okay. I guess that is about the size of a. I don't have a lot of experience with skinny pigs, but I had guinea pigs when I was a kid. Same thing, no hair. Meow. You think Bite's about to come back and visit here? Yep. He sits at the edge of the couch and stares at me and meows for a minute, and I know it's like he's just waiting for me to acknowledge him. Aren't you? I'm just following orders, Bite. Okay, one more. Because you're fat enough already. Yes, you are. Rained a little bit here this morning, but I think it's pretty much blown past. It didn't drop much. We got about a fifth of an inch. Just enough to get everything wet. Filled up the rain barrel though, so that's good. Rhonda was talking about snow too. No snow here. It's been actually kind of warm for the past few days, but we're going into like kind of a wet streak now. It's off and on rain for the next couple weeks. Katy Perry calling herself an astronaut after her ride into space. That's like me calling myself a pirate because I've been on Pirates of the Caribbean at Disneyland. Me calling myself a fighter pilot because I've ridden in an airplane. Crazy. Apparently, Wendy's what Twitter page or something like that is epic for making very very funny jokes about things. And I guess they made a joke asking if Amazon could take Katy Perry back. And I guess Katy Perry now is talking about suing Wendy's. Well, it is good to know that the left has finally determined what a woman is again. I mean, I guess that's progress, right? Ah, there we go. I try to avoid anything Meghan Markle. I have no interest in the royals or their or whoever they're sleeping with. Yeah, he contacted me a couple weeks ago. He needed something from the archives. There was a music project he collaborated with another musician with many years ago, and he wanted to have it again. I had it in the backups. It was good too because I didn't know most of the song titles, so he was able to get me the song titles. So I know that now. That's a good thing. Yeah, Yellowstone's calling me, huh? I guess maybe I'm further away, didn't hear it. I don't know. I haven't figured out what I'm going to do for dinner yet. Maybe go to the grocery store and see what inspires me. Ham. I like ham. Yeah, I have a lot more companies that are stating that they're closed today. They're making a big deal about announcing it now. Yeah, that's sort of what I do too, Rhonda. 12, minimum 13 hours because I'm in an hour early and then, out at, 8:39 sometimes. Because of the treat jar thing, the treat jar noise. You like that? Another like being jumped on by a dog that outweighs you by 2 to 1, right? You'll never outweigh me. Although you're going for it, aren't you? Yes, you are. Yeah, maybe in about 10 years. What are you looking at? Huh? Yeah, I didn't hear about that either. Oh, okay. I did hear a story about Dr. Oz having to intervene in something. I guess that was it. Charlotte's not happy and Logan's a brat. Are you being a brat, Logan? It's funny. I'm surprised I didn't hear about that. Tell me there's video of it. I'll have to check that out then. Yeah, he ran against I don't know, some radical leftist, and the radical leftist won. He seems like a good guy though. That would make her an alien, Darth. That's right, it was Fetterman, wasn't it? I thought it was some radical lefty. I find it odd that the more Fetterman recovers from the stroke, the more sense he makes. Just doing a little fishing, Rhonda. Yeah, they got that special bait, so it doesn't take long. Get their limit in 20 minutes. Well, that's why the Democrat Party has become so extreme because whenever they do get a moderate in there, they drive them out. That wouldn't surprise me that Katy Perry is an alien. Wasn't she the one that kissed the ground though when she got back? No, I agree. Fetterman should dress the part a little bit. I'm not usually a suit and a tie kind of person, but there's got to be a certain level of decorum, and the hoodie. What is he? A 12-year-old boy? Yeah, the statement is that he doesn't recognize, that he doesn't respect the traditions of the building he's in. That's right. It's 4:20. I know. I noticed that too. That was funny. I'm not sure what the specifics are, but there should be. I think. I mean, even if you don't want to do the suit and tie thing, even business casual would be appropriate. I agree. I'm not the suit and the tie kind of person, and if I can avoid it, I do. Last time I put a suit and a tie on was when I was looking for a job, and I ultimately, went to several jobs that I thought I was easily qualified for, and I think part of why I didn't get it is I thought I was overdressed, maybe too stuffy. The job I ended up getting was the first one where I went to where I dressed business casual. And that's one of the things I really like about the place I work now. It's a very loose dress code. You know, I just wear jeans and t-shirt every day. I'm told as long as the t-shirt isn't offensive, we're good. I do remember that about Bezos' wife. Such class. Exactly, Lindex. Yeah, well, like I said, there's a lot of people out there that could learn a thing or two about being classy. So what is it? Is it a new prime minister you're going for? Because Trudeau's out. I don't follow it that much. I know Trudeau's out, but is that what you're doing? Is looking for a new prime minister? I haven't looked into it. Yeah, okay. It's popular vote there, right, Rhonda? What day is the election? You'll notice I'm kind of staying out of this too much here because this is Canada. This is Canada's decision. I'm not going to take a position on that. All right, so I should be going la 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 la. I don't know. What do the polls say here? Okay, there's some polls. Okay, yeah, it looks like the Liberal candidate is pretty far ahead. I guess that's just kind of an let's get it in here. So that's I guess what the polls are showing. But then again, it's only like a 4 point race or 5 point race. The Lib loses 2.5 points and they go to the Conservative. That's it. It's over. Well, that's sort of an average of polls, Rhonda. So there may be some that where he's up by 48, but where it's 48%. But I'm guessing there's some where it's a little closer too. Yeah, right. Exactly, Janine. I don't know. I don't think I think it's different in Canada though, because I don't think they've seen the contrast between the two sides the way we saw between Trump and Biden. I mean, it was only the most hardcore lefties that stuck with Kamala, especially after the really corrupt way she was put into office. Oh, okay, all you people who voted for Biden, yeah, the party's going to change our mind. We're gonna pull him out. We're gonna put her in. I mean, I think a lot of people should have looked at that and it's like that was corrupt. That's not the will of the people. Yeah, I heard he kind of bombed on the speech. I haven't heard the speech. I don't know. Maybe I'll hear it this week. I'm sure Mark Levin talked about it. I love the media looking at the election in hindsight. How did we miss it with Biden so much that he was so out of it? It's like you didn't miss it. You got you know you You covered it up. You knew it was going on. You covered it up. He did get some appointment. I've heard him talking about it on the radio. He says he doesn't really want anything like that. He is good friends with Trump, though. Keep tripping over the cord for my laptop here. I'm trying to get it out of the way. I'm guessing they really got their panties in a twist. Yeah, they need to keep him out of the limelight. They need to put him into an institution, or they got money. Hire somebody to come live in with him and gradually fade into obscurity. Kind of like Reagan did. Reagan was declining at the end too, and they just, you know, kind of kept him out of the public eye in the final years. I think it's time for Biden to do that too. If he wants to be on the beach, that's right. That's the place to be. I don't know. It seemed like an appropriate response, Darth. Jill was definitely a big factor in why this went as far as it did. She liked being treated like royalty. Yeah, well, he's got his art that he can sell. He's got um, he can sell influence on the board of Burisma. I think my light just went out here. What the heck? Or it's going out. That was weird. I think it's just the power cable. I think that power cable is a little sketchy. See, the same cable plugs into the laser, so it isn't a power failure there. Must just be that display case. Yeah, I know something like that. No, I know the cable is a little sketchy on that one, so might just be an adjustment thing, or who knows. They sell those at Gallery 11, so I can get more if I need them. I got a bunch of them. The that do just the white light. One down. Yeah, I would never know. I've never worn heels. But then I don't really need them. I'm like 6'3", so 9-inch heels. That's crazy. I'd be afraid I was going to fall and break my ankles. Pizza does sound good. Tacos sound good too. A couple weeks ago, I did talk about doing burritos, and I did have burritos, so that was fun. Yeah, when you get to 9-inch heels, you're like a ballet person walking around on her toes. Girls don't like tacos, huh? Their loss. That's just more for the rest of us. Tacos are good. Yeah, I can imagine. Yep, I'm shaking Bite's hand. Most cats aren't very tolerant when you're playing with their feet, but so it isn't just Barbies you collect then, huh? That would be fun to go back to that bridge and do that. Maybe put some hidden speaker in the woods that like randomly screamed or something. Make it so it's all solar power, so it's completely independent. Lights just come on once in a while. Maybe put them up on separate locations, so it's not always in the same place. Goat sounds, yeah, exactly. Just random screams. Yeah, I have a dark side to me. I've always loved Halloween. That's a shirt that I got from my dad when the B-2 stealth bomber first flew. And it says "out of the black into the blue." Out of the black means it was a secret project. It was what they call a black project, which is a top secret project. And into the blue is reference to it flying. So that was the first flight of the stealth bomber my dad worked at, the Northrop B-2, 1989. Never was much of a WrestleMania fan. Jordan's the person that loved WrestleMania. I guess it's something he had in common with his dad. I mean, if you watched any of Jordan's vlogs, you know how big of a wrestling fan he is. I mean, I've been to the graves of wrestlers I've never even heard of. Just wasn't my scene. Well, it was all inspired by something the Nazis had, because the Nazis had something called the flying wing. Yeah, the only wrestling I've ever been had anything to do with was when I went to the midget wrestling at Bear Arms Brewery. It was fun. It was a blast seeing that. Yeah, I've never been accused of being politically correct. It's funny they call it micro wrestling, and in the group that they have coming to Bear Arms from time to time. I think it'd be fun to be an extra in a movie. I guess it's not really that hard to do. Which Die Hard movie do you know? I guess there's four of them. I've only seen three of them. No, no. I guess there's five of them. I've only seen four of them. Yeah, that's it's really sad about Bruce Willis. He's a good actor. The airport one. Yeah, that was number two. That's a good movie. It's not one of my favorite Die Hard movies, but it's okay. I heard Gene Hackman's house was trashed. I wonder if that's what Gene did wandering around the house after his wife died, or if it'd been that way. That's a sad ending for such a brilliant actor. Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, I haven't really followed that much. Last I really heard about it is he died, and then they determined that she died first, and he probably just starved to death afterwards. She had like the hantavirus or something like that. Well, that's definitely me. I don't let many people in my house either. Well, I guess I sort of do every week, right? So I do that just to mess with you, Rhonda. I'd come and move everything just a little bit. They're moving my dirt. They're moving my dirt. Oh, is that what the house was like? Okay. Yeah, that was popular in the 70s, the little chill zones in the middle of the. Of course, this house was built in the 70s. There's none of that here. But that's sort of what I'm building in the backyard. That's going to be my chill zone. Still working on that. I might get like some park bench kind of things in the middle there. I don't know. I'm making this up as I go along. I think a couple weeks ago on the live stream, I actually came up with an idea while we were on the live stream, and I've kind of modified the plans. Because see, the four quadrants were just going to come together in a point, and to be just kind of the area where it crisscrosses in the middle. But I kind of made this decision of maybe blowing out the center and making kind of a big circle in the middle with the planters going around the outside. Now we're over the swimming pool. Been there, done that. I tend to do omelets like in a fry pan. See, that's sort of the authoritarian stuff I don't like. Might be a good idea, but them forcing you out of your house if you don't want to do what they say, that doesn't rub me the right way. Exactly. Too many permits. I don't have a waffle maker. I make pancakes from time to time. Got to be in the mood for them though. I had a couple of succulents that I did pretty well with in California. One was my plumerias. I had something else that was just some little. It had like a big central stalk, and then these little like leafy leaves that came off of it. It grew like a weed, and Flash loved it. In fact, I had to build a fence around it to keep Flash out of it, because otherwise she'd just get in there and eat it to the core. But it grew so quick that it grew through the fencing outside, and so she could have whatever grew outside. And she loved that. That was her favorite thing. I don't. Well, she liked that thing that I had to barricade. She mostly just ate the grass. So, like I said, I want to build her a specific garden for stuff that's just for her, and I'll probably do that at some point. Yeah, radioactive soil. Yeah, you think might just be. Yeah, but I don't know if I'd want to have 59 X-rays. That's still an awful lot of X-ray energy. Yeah, I was just thinking of Jessica. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I'm surprised that somebody hasn't lawyered up and filed a massive class action lawsuit. Sounds like you almost might want to have them cancel your mortgage, give you a chance to get out of there, find someplace else to live. I don't know, no radioactive soil in Waco, just the occasional tornado. That whole place just sounds like stay away. I don't. I mean, I've been on Superior a few times. I don't remember that one ever being in really bad shape. Everything else kind of drains from that, though. Who knows where you once you get to like Ontario, and who knows what's ending up in there. Yeah, I heard about that. How Mexico's pumping their waste into our rivers. There's more proof that they are not our friends. I think they're pumping it like into the Rio Grande, and the Rio Grande runs right on the border. Exactly, Bearcat. Sit up straight here a little bit. I don't know. Waco is still pretty beautiful. Not a lot of contamination here. I don't know. Said countries should be very careful. We got 90 million private gun owners here, including this guy. Largest standing army on the planet. I don't know. Let's find something more upbeat to talk about. This is depressing. What do you want to talk about, Bite? Hopefully, I'm going to finally be able to get the computer ordered again. You remember I ordered a computer and then it was defective. I had to send it back, and now I gotta sit there and get the new one ordered. I tried to order it last weekend, but apparently uh, there are none available, and so I had to go find something else. And I'm gonna try and get that maybe ordered tomorrow. I haven't done tomatoes yet, but I want to get big tomatoes this year. I like the little tomatoes, but there was just too many little ones, and I couldn't keep up with them. They were growing faster than I could eat them. The bigger tomatoes, they take a little while, and they're good because I mean I like eating tomatoes like an apple. Yeah, exactly. It's a treat. I don't know. May do more gardening stuff. I want to replace a couple plants in the front yard. And that back little corner there where I have all the hydrangeas and all those house plants, I want to fill that in a little bit. Now that I know how to save the hydrangeas, I want to get a few more in there. But the hydrangeas are starting to look beautiful. They're going to be flowering before too long. I really like that Asus computer, though. It's a shame that that wasn't available. I'm almost wondering, the fact that I tried to order another one of the same computer and it was suddenly all unavailable. I wonder if there was some sort of problem and the issue I had was just a part of that. Maybe it's a general recall of that model. Maybe the whole batch is bad. That could explain that. I don't know. Oh, tariffs will be over shortly. There's like what 80, 130 countries, I think, something right now that are trying to negotiate with the U.S. to get the tariffs canceled. When this is over, we're going to have the freest trading world trade uh, that we've ever seen. So for countries that had no tariffs on American products, you aren't getting any tariffs. But this idea that other countries get free access to our country and our customers, but we don't get free access to theirs. That's got to end. I don't know. That's just YouTube inserts the ads when they do. At one point, I had them popping in every 12 minutes, and they have this thing now that says give to feed the ads at kind of more random intervals. So I don't know. I'll tell you though, if you ever watch this play back afterward, you'll be glad that I don't leave the ads in there because the reason the live stream goes private for about 24 hours is to give YouTube a chance to process the video so the quality looks good. But also it allows me to get in and remove the about 50 ads that YouTube will insert, one like every 3 minutes on the video. I said, that's crazy. I want about one every 15 minutes. And so I pull out all the rest of them, kind of manually insert them for playback. The second brand is it's a Dell. I've worked with Dell. I've never had one myself. My laptops have been HPs. Uh, oops, one. That computer there is an Asus. The one I was going to get was an Asus, but I don't know. We'll see how the Dell does. Yeah, I don't watch enough YouTube to be worth paying for YouTube premiums. Well, fortunately, I don't need customer service unless it comes to me it's defective again. I do most of my own repairs. I know I have HP laptops and I love them. This laptop that I'm on now, I started using when I left California. I was given it the previous Christmas from my parents, and I kind of kept it in a box because the old one was working. But when I started depending on a laptop for doing the vlogs when I traveled to Texas, I moved that to this one, and I've had this computer going ever since, and it's been running for 5 years, 6 years now. I was looking at Lenovo too. I've seen a few of those. The problem is I got so many requirements for my system. It's difficult to find it. So many of the computers I was looking at, don't have decent audio. They have audio in, audio out, but they don't have all the other stuff you'd want if you wanted to do like 5.1 or something like that. Yeah, I just got a new laptop at work yesterday, or a couple days ago. My old one started running really hot, and they looked at it and they were going to just try and have it limp along until November when it was due to be replaced. And they looked at it and says, "No, we just got to replace this one." So I got a brand new laptop yesterday or the day before. Well, I mean, I you can't expect any laptop to last if you drop it. Got to be careful with these things. I don't know. I try and take really good care of my technology. Treat it with care. Okay, Butterfingers. Yeah, I've started getting the updates too about Windows 10. They want me to move to 11, and I don't know. The one the new one I'm gonna get is probably going to be 11, but I don't know. They're trying to pressure me to update my laptop, this one here, with 11, but I'm not going to do that because the problem is every time you get a new version of software, you get more. It takes more intense processing and that to keep it going. And this computer was designed with 10 in mind. You put 11 on it, it's not going to run as well. I like Windows 98. Windows 98 was a good operating system. XP too. Well, also one of the things you got to consider is uh, when Windows or Microsoft stops servicing a particular operating system, it's generally because the new one's out there, and generally the hackers are going to go after the new stuff. So I don't know. You do want to keep careful, keep your virus software going, but generally the upgrades that you get from like Windows, it's upgrades to the software, adding new functionality, maybe protecting from particular threats and stuff like that. But or fixing bugs in the software. It isn't necessarily like protection from viruses and stuff like that. You keep your virus definitions up to date, you should be fine. Yeah, I like Windows 98. It was a good operating system because I mean I still got a machine here that's running XP. Yeah, yeah. If that's what you're doing is charging everything, then I hear you. I have special technology for charging all my stuff. I actually did for a while build all my computers. In fact, I still have a computer in the back there that was one that I built from scratch. I brought it over to the guys at Egghead Software once because I had a problem with the power supply, and I had every tech nerd in the store looking at my machine because it was bulked up as every way you could bulk it up. It had like 8 hard drives in it, and top of the line video board, top of the line audio board. Yeah, I don't know if I have a dozen computers, but let's see. There's three, four, five, six, seven of them, plus a couple extra laptops floating around, plus some iPads and stuff like that. Well, I set the depth on the drill so that I wouldn't go through. That was a concern too. I did not want to go through the surface of the desk. That would have been bad. But yeah, the box is definitely neater, and it keeps it out of the way, and it goes up and down with the desk, so there's not wire issues or anything like that. There's one wire coming out of that machine, and that's the power cable that goes into the wall. I don't know. I found it was more expensive. I spent tons of money buying all this stuff for my at the time my video computer. That was the first computer I ever had that was actually designed for video editing. In fact, if you ever saw that Candyland Riots video, Bullet and Animation, um, that video we edited on that computer. I had speakers on the old system. I'm halfway thinking about putting them back on because right now there are speakers in the back of the monitors, but they don't have the audio fidelity. So I might end up with a couple of speakers on the desktop too, but I can hide those pretty easily. I think what made those speakers sound good is they had a subwoofer, and a subwoofer can go on the ground. Yeah, I think that's what I did. What I spent on that video computer I built, it was massively expensive because I packed it up with every hard drive I could, and then there was going to be one main editing hard drive on there, and I got two of the fastest hard drives ever in the world ever made at the time, and put them together in a RAID 0 configuration so that it basically doubled the performance of the hard drives. I thought that was going to be the way to go for video editing, so I could gives and it worked really well. In fact, it probably still works. I haven't had it on in probably 10 years, but I bet you it still works. Yeah, I'm a nerd. I go in that direction sometimes. That's just me. The beauty of the safe of the self built is that you can basically put exactly what you want in it, and that's what I did. It was the fastest processor I could get with the most memory, the most hard drive space, the best video board I could get, the best audio board I could get. It was a monster machine. I guess I just don't really have the patience to sit and put one together anymore. But it was fun doing that, buying all that stuff separately and putting it together. And for a while, that's what I did every time. I had four or five computers that I built from scratch. First couple ones I ever bought, I bought out of the box. As I got to know them better, I started building my own, and then kind of just lost patience with that and just went back to the out of the box ones. It's hard to find an out of the box computer though that does what I want it to do. Because it's got to be built up in all the right ways. And unfortunately, when you build up a computer the right way with what I would want on it, it's starting to approach what they call a gaming computer. And one of the things that I don't like about gaming computers is they put all sorts of goofy lights and stuff like that on it. I'm not into that. I don't want a transparent box where you can see all the workings. I just want a plain black box like that. Oh, I do love putting stuff together. I had a blast putting that desk together. I got to get a new chair too. The desk chair I have is in bad shape. It was one I bought when I got here, and I don't know. It's one of these that had kind of a black, uh, film over the surface of it that made it kind of like soft leather. But in the couple of years I've had it, all that stuff is coming off, and so the chair looks horrible. There's black flecks of film all over the house. It's yeah. See, I wouldn't rule out the possibility of water cooled because that's a good way to a really powerful processor and not burn it up. But I don't need the lights and all that crazy stuff. I did do a local search. There isn't a whole lot here because I mean we got a Best Buy, we got a Office Max, but there isn't really like a place that specializes in desktop computers. I knew from the beginning I would have to get something online. Yeah, that's one of the last parts I got to do. Get the new box in here, get that in and working, and then a new chair, and then that project should be done. Of course, you sit on a drummer stool. Yeah, no, I have looked. There's just not really a lot around here that does that. I mean, I suppose if I went to Temple or maybe even Austin, I could find something, but I don't know. I'm going to see if I can fix the skull light. I think that's just a cable. Well, the price was right. You're going with a paranormal phenomena, huh? Okay, well, we'll see. Like I said, I'm going with cable, but that's a plan B. That can be plan B. How's that sound? Could be trying to speak, or maybe it's telling me we've blown past 2 hours. It's time to end this one. I don't know. What do you think? Yeah, see, he's flashing at me now. There we go. The skull has spoken. All right, we're done, people. Thanks a lot. I had a good time today. See you next week. Good night.